the lady told me that it's fine if you want to drop out, you can drop out. I don't want to drop out. One time I could just come into any professor's office and start crying. I was always offered paper towel, like this tissue for cleaning, I was a crybaby, literally. She told me that college is not really for everyone, and if you really can't cope with the heat, it's okay to drop out. I was like, hey, me, Aladi, my mind, I can't drop out. You know how hard I've worked for this? I can't drop out. I can't. I will never drop out. No, I am not. So I took a step of faith that's just like, wow, God, this is you. Lord, this is you. So yeah, and this is emotional for me, honestly. I might cry in this video at some point. I was really diligent. The first exam came, I had 97 over 100. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm so happy that you clicked on this video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Aladi Akoh. I make educational videos, study abroad tips, and sometimes I make videos about cultural differences and stuff like that. This part of the story is going to be how I, made plans to get out of the probation ASAP, as soon as possible. I told myself, girl, you should be grateful to God that your funding has not been taken away from you. If not, what are you going to do? How are you going to pay all these fees without support from the school? The plan was, okay, I'm going to study hard. It's not like I didn't study hard the first semester. It was just that I was just struggling a lot. I had nobody to help me. I was just like basically on my own, except my professors were there. I went to office hours every day. I did all that stuff, but it was not enough. There was a presentation for one of my classes, which is the seminar class. The presentation was that you would come to the class and share with people, like share with your classmates, the course the research you're working on, what you're doing and stuff like that. I mean, people had things they were working on, but baby girl had nothing. I had nothing I was working on. Though it was my first semester, so don't judge me because I hadn't started my research then. So I didn't know what to present. I was like, well, I don't have a research. I talked to the professor. He was like, I don't know what he told me again, but he sure understood. Then on the day of the presentation, I came to the class. I was like, well, I am Akoh Rosemary Aladi. I am this, and I am an international student from Nigeria, and this is my long-term goal. I wish to start up something in Nigeria, like kind of have where I teach people how to code, especially young girls. I want to make sure that they are taught how to code from high school, because if I had learned how to code in high school, or let's say primary school, man, I would be doing very well. So I felt like the coding, the way that if they start, someone will come and tell you that they learned coding in primary school. They started coding when they were 11. When I was 11, I didn't know anything about coding actually. So I started learning about coding, I think in the year 2014/15 or so. So I was like, this is where the passion came out from. I want to teach how to code. So some students in the class and the professor, they now suggested to me that there is a professor who, this is what she does. She teaches young girls how to code, and they were like, well, they should introduce me to her. And that was how I got, after the class, the professor took me to that particular professor, and he introduced me to her, and then we picked up from there. She started asking me questions. What do you think are the challenges back in Nigeria? Is it that there's no internet, or what is the major challenge? And we got talking and we became friends, and she told me that there was going to be a summer camp, that if I don't mind, I can come, I can apply to be one of the teaching assistants and stuff like that. I was like, wow, this is good. So we got talking, and so during the break, now back to the story, during the break I went to her and I told her that I want to work on all the freshman programming class. I want to code them. I want to start from the scratch. I felt like, well, boo, you need to start from the very beginning. So I went to her and she gave me all the programming classes, like everything. She gave it to me in a zip file, and I started working on it. I set a goal for myself. Okay, I am going to make sure I program everything from A to Z, all the assignments that were given to the students. And then before then, my professor already told me, the HOD said, you are going to be teaching from next semester. My first semester I didn't teach, it was just grading and proctoring. He was like, from next semester you're going to be teaching and all that. So I knew that I had to learn these things. I had to put in my best. So I made a plan that, okay, I'm going to do this. And also I talked to another professor who was the professor that was supposed to take me on independent studies. Anytime I had problem with my programming assignment, he was my favorite person, my favorite go-to person. So I also talked to him how I would like to work during the winter break, like the fall break. That was in December. How I would like to work on these programming assignments, and I would, appreciate if he supervises me or supervises my work and all that. He was willing. He was like, yeah, 100%. He's with me, that I should just, make arrangement for those, materials which I had already gotten from the professor. So he told me about the other professor who teaches 200 level classes and the one of 100. So things happened, and at the end of the day, we made a plan. And let me tell you, on Christmas Day, I was coding, I was working, and I really want to appreciate one of my friends. His name I don't want to reveal, but he was there for me. He's a computer science student like me too. I made friends with him. In fact, his family, they were supportive. His mom would come and pick us up. I was working on the programming assignment from the very first programming task to the to the end, and that was how I started coding. I wanted to think like a programmer. I wanted to think so well. I wanted to, like, when they give you a problem, that this is what I'm supposed to do. In fact, let me tell you, the first time that I went to that professor's office and he was asking me questions, I was so nervous. I did not know. He asked me that, okay, so we're trying to start with one of the programs, or the one I was working on. I had issues. I went to see him. He was like, how do you do this thing? I was like, he was writing on the board. I was so scared. I did not know what I was doing. Like, anxiety, gosh. So like that I started picking up, started coding. I could think properly like a programmer. Like, I was doing better than I was, and I was working. So each day I went to school. I disciplined myself. Baby girl, you have to go to school. It's holiday, but my holiday was in school. So one day I was working in the WISE room. That's the Women in Science and Engineering room. There's a room on campus that has a special place where people go to hang out. So that was where I was working, because it was break time and students were not really coming to school anymore. People were not coming to school. What am I saying? People were not really coming. So I had the space all to myself. So I was there working on one of my programming assignments. I was coding, like, the programming assignment that I gave to myself, like from the freshman programming the professor gave me. So I was coding, and then I saw the professor who taught me robotics, who is now the HOD. So he saw me. He was like, hey. I greeted him and we started talking. He was like, what am I doing here? I explained to him that I'm working on this, I'm trying to develop myself. And he's like, well, I know that I saw your grade is a C, and I understand perfectly about your situation, your background and all that. I know that it's not probably the best for this class at this point, and that is why you didn't really do well. So I am willing to give you a second chance if you want, only if you want. I was like, I want that second chance. Deep down in me, I was scared. I was like, I don't know if I can. He was like, okay, I am going to assign a project to you, and if you do well in this project, I am going to improve your grade. You can come to me anytime you feel you are ready, you have learned more things, and you are more confident in yourself that you can take up this task. I was like, this is a breakthrough for me. So I was like, well, I said yes. Yes, I'll come. So fast forward back to January, I completed those programming tasks, most of them. In a day I would just be programming morning, day, night. And in January, when we came back to schools to start the spring 2019, I took 9 credit classes again. I registered for advanced theory of computation, advanced cybersecurity, and advanced data analysis. Those are the 3 courses I enrolled in, and the most challenging one for me was the advanced theory of computation, automata theory and all that, so that class was really, really challenging. But I had a friend who is the math guru, and after every class, in fact the first 2 weeks let me even tell you, the first week of class when we came, they were like doing revision from finite structures. That was the prerequisite for that class. So as a graduate student, they feel like you have done those things, and to be honest, that class was the reverse. I was like, it was proof, like mathematical proofs from the beginning to the end. If you cannot prove, like proof, if you can't prove, is it proof or sorry, forget that class, because we fail. And I knew that this was going to be challenging right from the very first day. So the first 2 weeks of classes, I went back to the class that was supposed to be the prerequisite for that class. Like, I started studying on my own, watching YouTube videos. I found one channel on YouTube. This guy is an Indian, so it was his channel. I was following him back to back. I found a lot of materials on that channel which I watched, and after every class I'll make sure I practice what has been taught. I made sure I understood what has been taught. In fact, I was like ahead of the class, and I resolved to my friend, because I had to go to him. I asked him, will you have time to teach me? I was willing to pay anyone to give me tutorials and all that, and luckily for me, he's a very nice person, and his family, they were all there for me. I would go to his house, we'll study together, group study, just the two of us. We'll do a lot of math problems, get the test book, try to solve all the problems, like the exercises and all that. That kept on going. Just go online, get stuff and try to solve. Just keep solving problems. Like, after each class, we look at the notebook together, and that was what basically helped me. I felt more confident, because if I don't know anything, I'm like, how do you prove this thing? Can you teach me the concept? Can you? Oh my gosh, he was so tolerant of me, because I was like a pest to his life. And I had another friend who is also a Nigerian, and he's good with math. I also went to him. Aside the professor, at least I had somebody I could also talk to. So after every class, I also go to my professors for office hours. I feel like I was like their major customer. There was one professor, he already knew if someone is knocking at his door, or like if it's time for office hour, he knows that I am the first student to show up. It helps. You need to be close to your professors. You really need to be close to them. So I would go to him and all that, and he was there. He never sent me away. They didn't. All my 3 professors, because I was basically I slept in their office basically. Because I am always there, office hour or no office hour. I am always hanging around to see if they are available to help me with my problem. I feel like it's good to go to your professor first, and then when they explain it to you and you don't really get it, go to a fellow student, because the way they are going to explain it to you makes, I think, from my experience and for me, I feel like I understand better after I go to the professor and then go to my course mates. My course mate kind of makes everything easy for me. And at that point, I was a crybaby. Any little thing would make me cry. Sometimes I'll go to my professors, I'm trying to talk about my academic work and all that, I will start crying. Like, it's not like I want to cry, but the tears won't stop flowing, and the professor will be like, wow. They were offering me like paper towel, like, is it tissue paper, anywhere I go, because I was crying. Even when I went to the international office, and if I go there to discuss anything, it's not like I want to cry, but I cried everywhere on campus. Like, I cried. And even when I went to the international house, I finally told our father and mother, the international mama and papa. So I told them about it. There was one day I was crying, and she was like, oh sweetheart, she just hugged me. And even the international office, the woman there, she told me whenever you needed a hug, you can come for one if you want to cry. And one thing my other professor told me as well, he was like, if you're tired, if you're frustrated, you can come to my office and talk about it, and just open up, just say what you want to say. I'm not going to judge you. If you feel you're frustrated, you're tired, just come to my office and display your frustration. And all these things, they were really helpful. It was just one person the whole time that was negative. I would say 99% of the people around me were so supportive, except one person. And I wouldn't really say she was really negative. I felt that she was talking from a place of concern or something. She told me that college is not really for everyone, and if you really can't cope with the heat, it's okay to drop out. I was like, hey, me Aladi, my mind, I can't drop out. You know how hard I've worked for this? I can't drop out. I will never drop out. No, I am not. I am a very strong-willed person, and I told myself, I am really going to come out of this, and I am going to tell people my story someday. I am going to come out of this. So fast forward every day, the same method, going for office hours, asking questions. If they give a homework today, I make sure I start working on it the same day, get it done and submit it 2 days before the due date. I don't wait till the due date to submit my homework or get it done. If I'm submitting again on the due date, that means I'm kind of resubmitting. I've probably done it and maybe I kind of look through it and something is not making sense. So I was really diligent. The first exam came, I had 97 over 100. that was for the the theory of computation. I was doing so well. I was having A's in my exams. I was doing pretty well in my cybersecurity class. Same thing, A's on my homeworks and all that. And data analysis, same thing. In fact, data analysis was a kind of like the let me say the easiest class in the 3 classes, but I neglected it. Not like I neglected it, but I put in all, I channeled more of my energy to the theory of computation and cyber security, and that was because I didn't want to fail. I wanted to have A in all 3 classes, but at the end of the day, I had A in the theory of computation, I had A in the cybersecurity class, and in the data analysis class I had the B, which wasn't really too bad, but I wish I was able to get A in all 3, because data analysis is not like a very difficult class in my opinion, so I could have done better. At the end of the semester I had 3.6 that term. Because of the B, I couldn't make a 4.0, so my cumulative GPA rose to 3.3. Whew, your girl came out of probation finally. And when I came back to school in fall 2019, I came back to campus. My professor told me that I'm proud of you. You proved yourself to be, you know this. And did I tell you when I during the spring class and the January class, like that semester where I was doing data analysis and all that, I was teaching a class, CSE 170, programming for engineers and scientists. I was the teaching assistant for that class, and so I had to combine all those things with my classes, and it was not easy because I had to grade. I had to go to class 4 hours per week. Yeah, we teach on Mondays and Wednesdays, I think 2 hours each day, and I had to hold office hours of 3 hours every week. So I mean, literally my assistantship was like 15 hours per week, so I had to work, grade, and do all these things. And so I would say I really tried. Let me give myself that credit. I tried. I tried. So the professor was, and they made a review at the end of the semester, like the students, they will rate their TA if they really like. If your students don't like you, you can lose your your teaching assistant position, because if you're not doing your job well and the students are not happy, they are going to report you. They're going to. But luckily for me, the Lord helped me, and the report I got, the survey went well, and the students were not really mad at me. The major complaint was my accent. My accent, yeah, the way I speak, and I have a Nigerian accent, and that was like the major complaint. They were like, they really couldn't understand me sometimes, and some of them were like, she's really cheerful, she's nice, they wrote sweet things about me, and I'm really grateful. So the professors were really impressed, and one day the HOD even called me and told me that students are saying good things about you. I've heard your professor is happy. Like the professor was also like assisting to teach the class. She was really impressed. She said good things. She also told me that students were coming to her and were like, oh, this TA, she's doing really good, we like her. I was like, wow, God, this is you. Lord, this is you. So yeah, and this is emotional for me, honestly. I might cry in this video at some point, so please, if I cry, forgive me. I'll try not to cry. And yeah, and we started a new semester. I was a pro TA now, and I was taking another class. This is freshman computer science class again. This one is purely for computer science major, and we started the class. This time around I was taking 3 classes, and it was not really easy, though 2 of the classes, I think it was 3, right? Yeah, I had other assistant TAs that we were taking this together, grading and stuff like that. I took 3 classes or 4. My thesis, I started my thesis. I was even scared, who's going to supervise me, like who we want to take this girl, that sometimes, yeah, that was how I was feeling. I was like, who's going to even listen to me? But I figured out like I love like the security aspect of computer science, so I walked up to a professor, asking him to advise me and be my advisor, and that was how I got an advisor. Let me not bore you with a lot of this gist, but I don't know. And yeah, I took that class. My GPA improved at the end of the semester. I think my first GPA, I made a mistake. The first time was 3.2, so after the 4th semester it moved to 3.3 because I had 2 A's and 1 B in the classes I took, and I couldn't make 3 A's again, I made 2 A's and 1 B. I won't consider myself as an A student. I won't consider myself as a B student because I am not A, I am not B. I have 6 A's on my transcript and 3 B's. So you see, I am not fully A, I am not fully B. So I'm somewhere in between A, B. Wait for the final review of my current GPA, somewhere in between. So fast forward to this semester. No, we have already ended this semester. Fast forward to January. We started the 4th semester, which is spring 220, and I took just 1 class because I was done with my coursework. I've done everything, like I've gotten the requirement grades to graduate. All is left for me is my thesis, which I'm currently working on. You might be wondering, why didn't you graduate in this 4 semesters? Is it because of the probation? No, the probation didn't really affect my graduation, to be honest, because I have more than the required credit. I had to even take extra credit to kind of like maintain this 9 credits so that I don't go below it. I have exactly more than what I need. And yeah, and this research is, research takes time. So probably if I did like a non-thesis option, I would have graduated. Honestly, I would have graduated, but because of my thesis, I'm working on it. I'm taking my time, so sometime this year, hopefully. I don't know what's going on, this pandemic and the whole thing, I don't know. God works in mysterious ways. He works in ways that we cannot understand. So I'm grateful that things are the way it is. I'm grateful. So what do I want to say now? So you remember I told you that the professor told me that if I want to, work more, he can give me projects. So for 2019, I went to the professor. I told him, I think it was even during the summer or so, or I don't know, but I went back to him telling him, okay, I'm ready. What is the project? I am going to do it. I think it was in summer. I started telling him that I was ready. So he gave me the go. He told me, this is what I want you to do. I want you to code this. I want you to develop this and, do this and that. So I looked at it, I was like, God, I was so scared, super scared. But I started working on it. I kind of went to him, I itemized everything he wanted me to do, and I started working on it. To be honest, at that point, I didn't know what he was asking me to do, but I couldn't say no, and I don't want to say no. I am of the opinion that if you don't know something and somebody asks you that, do you know this thing, don't say no immediately, okay? Don't say you don't know it. Just go and Google, research about that topic, and then come back with your answers. I took a step of faith. That's just it. I just bring it on, and we started working on the robotics project, and we started working, and then in 4, he told me that he was even willing to hire me to become a research assistant and work on that robotics project. I mean, girl, you're going to improve your grade, and at the same time you're going to be paid for doing that. It's like, this is, I wasn't at first, I didn't want to take the offer of like that research being a paid position because I was scared I wasn't going to deliver. I'm like, if I start taking money and I can't deliver what she's asking me to do, what am I going to do? I was really worried for myself, but along the line, well, I just started working. I didn't consent to the money aspect. I just wanted to work. I was scared, actually. It's not like I don't like money, don't get me wrong. I believe in myself, but not to that extent. So I started coding. I was developing. He showed me things that I could choose from. So I chose the simulator. I was developing a 2D robot simulator. So I worked on that for fall. And then this year in the spring, January, I had another project partner added to the group, and then he gave us what to do. And my project partner was working on the computer vision aspect of it, and I was working on the communication aspect. And last I worked on that project, completed it, I got paid, my grade got improved, and my grade was lifted from C to B, so which I appreciate. I mean, 4 credit class, getting a C was disastrous. And at the end of the day, this class that I took this semester, I already mentioned it in my previous video. If you have not watched it, I will link it up. I mentioned that I got A in that class too, and at the end of the day, my GPA rose to 3.58. It is not the best GPA. It is not the worst GPA. I mean, if you are rating it, this is cum laude. My GPA is still like is among the honors. They have 3 honors, summa cum laude, magna cum laude, and then the cum laude, so my GPA is still cum laude. I'm fine about it. If in the next semester I am still going to be here because I'm still working on my research. I don't know, I might be tempted to take some classes to kind of boost it, but I don't know if I am going to do that or just focus on my research. So guys, it's been a long one. I know this video has been really long, but I hope you enjoyed my story. So if you know any student that is on academic probation, please don't forget to share this video with them. Encourage them, they can do it. All you need to do is to put on the, put in the hard work, put in the effort, make friends, and come out and tell people that this is what is going on. I know a lot of you don't know about this whole thing. Watch out, I'm going to be making a video on the things I wish I knew and things I wish I can still go and change, but obviously it's too late for some of those things. So guys, I hope this helps you. I hope this video encouraged you to be strong and not give up. Never ever give up. Never ever give up. You have to speak up. If you're on probation, you really have to speak up. You don't just have to keep quiet, because if you do, nobody knows what you're going through. And if you want me to, probably make another video about it, I can, but this is just me sharing what I went through and how I got out of it. And today I am a proud computer science student. Things got really better. I am a Christian, and I am going to admit it that it was just God. He was my pillar, and it was hard work and smart work and friends and family that got me through this. Though I didn't tell my immediate family I was on probation, I always asked them, pray for me, and just help pray for me. Things are not going too well. I didn't mention to them that I was on academic probation because they would be too scared, And yeah, so some of my friends knew, and if you're my friend and you're watching this and you didn't know, sorry, I betrayed you probably. But yeah, that is the sad truth, and it happy ending. This is like a happy ending because yeah, it's a happy end. So thank you so much guys. I really appreciate you guys for watching today's video. Thank you for your support. And if you know anyone who's currently on probation, tell them Aladi was on probation and she got out of it, so they can also get out of it. You can't just come to the US here and study, and at the end of the day paying all these huge school fees, you're not able to get a degree. It doesn't make sense. So guys, I think we have come to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye.